Hey, welcome, guys.
Hey, hello, Kelly. How are you tonight?
I'm great. How are you two doing?
I'm just living the dream.
If I was any better, I'd have to hire somebody to help me enjoy it.
That is good news. So I wanted to grab you two for a few minutes. And as you know, we're trying to do more of these conversations so we can spread the word to a lot more people. And at the moment, I am going to take myself off of the view, but you should still be able to hear me.
Okay.
Everybody got the frequency, the volume okay?
Yes, very good.
Okay. For people who are joining us for the very first time, let's real quickly introduce the team that we've got online tonight. Mark, you want to say hello first?
Sure. My name's Mark Nichols. I'm a VP of Sales and Marketing for both the OII-YS and the Organisan team. And then you have Tom Wood. And Tom, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I guess get the name out of the way. Tom Wood. I lived farm, grew up here in eastern Idaho. Just Rexburg is the closest town to where we're at here. So I kind of help Mark here run the show in the West. I've been with the team here for several years now. So, yep, they were hard up for help.
No.
And literally behind the scenes, I'm Kelly, and I've been with the team for many, many years, truly behind the scenes, helping with all things marketing. So
I think you're coming up on 10 years, Kelly, just to let you know.
I know. I think that we're going to have a party for that. Everybody laughs.
I'll bet Andre will cook.
I bet.
Sounds like a plan. So let's jump right in and let's hit tonight's topic. And tonight's topic I wanted to talk about is frequently asked questions. So if you've received 50 calls in the last month or whatever, you define the time span. But for somebody who's learning more about our products.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I think the most frequently questions I've had, not in the last month, so to speak, the last month has covered a lot of different temperature spans, but coming into fall, I've been asked by a lot of guys if they should go ahead and treat either their fallow fields or their cover crops, being that they used it starting in the beginning of the season all the way through the season, and then they want to know if they should do an application to go over winter, whether it's with the O2, the O1, or with the Nemasan. And I gracefully say, not just because we appreciate the extra revenue, but it's definitely good for the crops because it's going to definitely make whatever they do early in the spring, it's going to make it jump. It's going to make all the chitin-lytic organisms, chitin-lytic bacteria, chitin-lytic proteins, all the chitin-lytic things in the soils jump as soon as they're hit. What do you think about that, Tom?
Yes, absolutely. And in particular, the one crop that we started to discuss this exact topic this time of year is alfalfa. And that is the one in particular that if you're only going to make one application for the season, I like to see that one done in the fall. As soon as you're done with third, fourth, fifth cutting, wherever you're at, when you're done and shut down for the year, your last irrigation something or put the spray out across the field. Why? The last application here in the fall kind of sets the stage for, we see a little more usually vigorous green up in the springtime if that's been done. So like I say, with alfalfa in particular, I'd like to see one in the fall and then another one after in between first cutting and second cutting of, next season. And then we can kind of sit back and see what the results are and play it by ear from there. But yeah, no, I definitely agree that the late fall application certainly helps set the stage for springtime.
Yep, that's what I've been telling the guys in whole form. Just love to see it go out. And then the other one, before I turn it over to Tom, the other one that I frequently get is the guys are always asking me, and it doesn't matter. I was recently blessed with the ability to drive all the way around the entire country and work with all of our distributors basically nationwide. And they're all always asking the question because we have on all of our data and on all of our rate lists that our rate is 1 pint per acre. And we are not going to differ off of that 1 pint per acre. That's a given. A little bit different with our Agri-Q product. That can go, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 ounces per acre, whatever works best for you. We won't get into that right now, but on our regular basic products, everybody is asking about rates. We do not differentiate and we do not allow, from our standpoint, for anybody to go less than full rate, which is 16 ounces per acre. And that is one of the most frequently asked questions I get because we are not inexpensive. And guys are wanting to go out with 8 ounces, 10 ounces, 12 ounces. You know, they're all human beings and they all have the freedom to do whatever they wish. But from our standpoint, 16 ounces. There you go, Tom. I'll run with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. There's certainly, even though we deal basically in the adjuvant realm, the aspects of this compound and this particular formulation of our product, if anybody's not familiar with chitosan, why, you know, again, I tell people all the time, do some Googling, chitosan and agriculture, just start doing some reading, and then understand that the formulation that we have is rather unique in this marketplace. And we certainly see a kind of a slide scale of efficacy based on the rates that are put out. And the 1 pint rate, certainly, we don't necessarily need to go more than that. We seem to, the scale of economic return kind of falls off and we start going above a pint per acre. There are instances where we will go more than a pint per acre, depending on, you know, what effect we're trying to achieve there. But we certainly have seen varying degrees of efficacy based on, if guys have used half a rate, you can kind of expect to see half a response type thing. So I'm in full concurrent with Mr. Nichols on this one, that it is important to stick with the pint rate.
Okay, so tell us about your most common questions that you're getting out in the field, Tom. What are you hearing from folks?
It kind of changes. I mean, season to season here as we move through things, we kind of start off in the springtime of the year again with, again, the rate thing and how much, you know, seed treatments, in-furrow stuff. What can we expect to see here? There again, virtually in every crop that I've had an experience with now, that either late fall application or the first one in the springtime, possibly even, you know, going in with a seed treatment, accompanying a seed treatment protocol there, sets the stage for the whole season. We will see, if you're only going to make 1 application per year, do it in the springtime. The root growth, the plant vigor we seem to greatly affect. There's I don't want to say a phenomenon, there's an occurrence that goes on. If you're not familiar with rhizophagy, again, do some Googling, do a little reading up on that. We greatly affect this rhizophagy phenomenon where the root tips of your plants will actually suck in whole microbes through an oxidative process, strips the outer coating off of those, pulls the nutrients out of those microbes. At the same time, your microbes are putting out an exudate, trying to survive to trigger the plant to spit them back out. Anywhere that your plant spits those bacteria, those microbes back out, you grow a new root hair. And then your plant can continue to exude microbes back out. A lot of these microbes will survive this process. They will get back in the soil, they'll grow a new coating, they get healed up, they pull more nutrients in from the soil, and this process will repeat over and over again. So we kind of start off the springtime, like I said, with a lot of those questions. I deal a lot with nematode control stuff with the Nemasan products, and I literally am in the heart of potato country here in Idaho. So we get into a lot of discussions early on and through the season as to how much and when and what the timings are. And we've done this for so long now, we pretty well have this roadmap that some nematode species, it all kind of varies depending on, it boils down to kind of egg-laying characteristics of the species, that if it's a cyst-type nematode, 1 application in the spring might carry you, you know, maybe not all the way through the season, but a long way through the season before we have to look at doing a retreatment program or protocol. We start getting into root knot nematodes, however, due to the egg-laying characteristics of those species, it takes a lot. It takes a repeated, we run about every 2 weeks to 30 days with a treatment of the Nemasan at a pint rate. We usually always accompany that with a pint of the O2. And we have had, since we've kind of got this figured out and mapped now, we've had excellent, phenomenal nematode control with this. So those questions kind of start in the spring as we move through the season. Like I said, we start getting into a lot of alfalfa questions.
That also plays down in the south in the vegetable crops also. The same exact scenario you just played out, the nematodes in the vegetable crops also. So yes.
Yeah. And timing with this stuff too, we've learned also that a lot of this has to do with GDUs, your heat units for the day. Nematode life cycles will generally follow a heat unit protocol. For example, in Idaho, we just know that around 750 GDUs is where we see the first hatch. By the time we get to 1,500 GDUs, so Katie barred the door because they're coming with an army at that point. So we know we've got to be out ahead of those hatches. We've got to stay on top of those hatches due to this cluster characteristic in the egg laying with those. So like I say, and then we get into mid-season here, we start getting into, cereal grains. What will this do here, there? Should I put this in with my fungicides, this, that, the other? Why, yeah, I'll spend pretty much the month of June is kind of consumed with cereal grain conversations. We've done, what's that?
I said easy.
Yeah.
Treading on Andre territory.
We've done really well in accompanying these sprays with this stuff. Again, alfalfa kind of goes all season long. If I put this in with this product or that product, what will this do for plant expression, for this, that, the other? We get into this time of year now, we're looking at potato desiccation. Now the questions have been, is it economical should I put this in with my desiccation products? Obviously, sulfuric acid, there's no real benefit there, but the Reglone, Rely products, depending on year, this will kind of vary on the efficacy of those products, what the heat units are again, if it's cool and wet, if it's hot and dry, we have seen an increase in efficacy when we accompany those products with an O2, as well as we seem to pick up some I guess, tuber protection qualities out of that. So anyway, the questions, the questions follow a pattern throughout the whole season, but the
Right.
pattern certainly repeats itself from year to year. So yeah, that's kind of the gist of what I run into here in a year's time.
All right. Well, so a lot of questions recently about usage. And so you guys are part of the team for the go-to. Your numbers are on the website, your cell phone numbers, your email. So if there's anybody that listens to this that would like to get more information and either talk to either of you personally, I will encourage them to go to our website, www.organisancorp.com, and click on the Contact Us page. And there they'll have your contact information. And I appreciate you guys coming tonight. And we will do this again soon. How's that?
Nice job, Kelly. Thank you very
Very good.
much.
Thank you for joining us. Bye.
We're here for you.